evening, everyone. My name's Gavin Walker. I'm the director of an internet marketing company, and in addition to that, I deliver the SEO course for the Axis Centre. I thought it would be timely to come along this evening, as I know many of you will be some way in to your own SEO campaigns. You'll be working on your sites, beavering away, perhaps 6 months in, 9 months in, or some of you considerably more. And it's that sort of dangerous point when you start to wonder, is anything going to happen at the end of this to justify all the time and effort that I've been expending? And so essentially this evening, it's not about SEO techniques, it's much more about assurance and monitoring and being prepared for things going wrong. The aims are threefold. I want to give you that reassurance, either that your SEO campaign is on the right track, or if it isn't, that you can effectively identify where things are going wrong and do something to remedy them now. 6 months in, it's not too bad. 2 or 3 years in, and someone tells you that you've been doing everything completely wrong, and it does get really seriously depressing. The second thing is this performance monitoring. Rather than just using your performance monitoring so you can say to yourself gleefully, oh look, I've got to 6th position, I want to look a step beyond that, and a way in which you can use not simply rankings but also other metrics such as click-through rates and conversions and traffic against impressions to actually enhance your campaign over time by feeding back into your keywords. And then we're going to finish with a brief session on the issue of disaster planning or emergency planning. And you can't plan for every possible thing that can go wrong with a website, but you can have some processes in place as to what I would do if suddenly all my rankings went from the top 10 to 450, and I assure you it does happen. We've had some particularly disastrous disasters amongst our clients over the last 6 months or so. So why call the talk SEO Casualty? I'm going to blame the fact that I had about 2 seconds to think up a name while I was talking to daughter on the telephone, and she rejected the first suggestion that I came up with. But in fact there are some parallels between health intervention and SEO intervention. And some of you'll know that years and years ago, almost 20 now, I did actually qualify as a doctor and worked as one briefly and fairly unhappily. So, one of the main things I think that's interesting is how website owners behave. And you tend to find that people are either at one extreme or the other. At one extreme, they're complete stoics. They will sit there for a long time, months, years, with nothing happening to their website as a result of SEO, and they will take the view that time is a great healer, and if they wait another couple of years, things will be better. When in reality, you need a much more proactive approach. Okay. At the other extreme, you've got the worriers, people who are really sort of obsessive about things, and they'll check their rankings 3 times a day. They'll almost never log out of analytics. And that sort of obsessive looking at moving up or down 1 or 2 places in the course of a week is a huge waste of people's time. And what I want to get everyone is into a sort of happy middle ground where they have a very definite regime as to how often they're going to monitor their rankings, how often they're going to look at the traffic, and also perhaps be more aware of the danger signs of things deteriorating so that you don't feel you need to look every day. And we certainly want to pull back as well the people who are prepared to sit for 2, 3, 4 years. We went last month to see a prospective client for doing their SEO, and they'd been having SEO done by their web developer. And when we did the sort of pre-meeting checks, they'd got, well, shall we say, fewer than 200 inbound links to the site, despite the fact that someone had been ostensibly doing SEO for them for 4 years. Okay? They are the stoics who should have reacted sooner. Okay? You need to be aware that if you're paying quite a lot of money out, that the reporting back to you is rigorous and honest, and you're seeing meaningful things like traffic, not just meaningless things like rankings for obscure long-tail search terms. Okay, SEO is a process. In many ways you could liken it to a sort of production line, and there are failure points in that process which occur much more often than in other areas. And I've highlighted 4 places where we typically see problems, both for clients or for people doing SEO themselves. And they're the ones in mauve. They're keyword research, analysis, selection, whatever you want to call it, keyword implementation, link building, and then the whole monitoring process of seeing where you've got to and where you need to go. And I'm going to go through each of those in turn and effectively give you what I think is best practice. And I have to say at this point, my views of best practice in SEO have changed quite a lot over the last year. So even the 1 or 2 of you who've been on my course will find there'll be some changes to what I now think you should be doing, okay, and what we are doing practically. So, keyword analysis. That process of choosing keywords for your site, which will be the focus of your SEO, which you think are beneficial to rank for, because they will bring you traffic in volume and traffic which you can convert into purchasers, clients, inquiries, or whatever. And when we look at keywords, when we analyze them, we're really looking at 3 key characteristics. We're looking at the volume of search traffic. We're looking, secondly, at the relevance of the keyword to your site. And that effectively is a measure of the probability of conversion if someone uses that keyword in a search engine and then arrives at your site. And then the third thing you need to pay particular attention to is competition. And that's a measure of how long it's going to take you to achieve a meaningful ranking. And I would say meaningful has got to be in the top 10, and it's very likely we're talking about a sort of top 5 ranking for that keyword. So, a year ago we did our keyword research, and it would end up with a list for the client which literally had the keywords and the search traffic. Okay. I think there's additional data you should have on that list which is really useful and which we've started using. Normally we would never allow a client to go into an SEO contract unless some formal keyword analysis had taken place. But actually a year ago I had a company come to me who 2 of their staff had been on my course already, and so they did their keyword analysis and the list of keywords arrived for us and it all looked fine and sensible, but they'd put a URL against each keyword as to which page they wanted to rank for that search term. And once I'd got over the sort of initial panic of how much more complicated was that going to be in terms of actually doing the SEO, you find there are huge benefits in terms of focus. You know which pages the keywords have got to be sort of bumped up on, you know, to get those rankings. You also know your link building is very easily predetermined as to the anchor text that you're going to do your links to deep pages. And I think it actually has been hugely helpful. We accept that you're not going to get it 100% right, but actually having that target, the client saying, or you saying to yourself, this is the best landing page for this key phrase, and so this is definitely the one we want to rank, actually can be helpful in all sorts of different ways.